behind it. I'm happy here.
Right, you're all set.
Okay. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Douglas Library Board of Trustees for August 12th, 2024 to order. The first item on the agenda is the pledge of allegiance.
This is the one thing I didn't have to do at home.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of
of
the United
the United
States
States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation,
under God,
under God, liberty,
and
justice for all.
Our next item on the agenda for public comments. I don't know how you want to do it. You want to do people that are on there first? Do you want to do people over here first?
Does anyone who is on the Zoom call have a public comment? Right, I don't hear anyone.
Okay.
We should probably read that this section of the agenda is reserved for persons in attendance who wish to briefly address the board. Comments should be limited to 2 minutes or less.
And if you could
And
identify,
the attendance too.
By myself, my name is Pamela Peter Tony, and I have a comment tonight. I am here this evening not as the friend of Douglas Library Liaison, but as a member of the Hebron community who has volunteered for the Friends for about 25 years. For me, it was an extremely difficult decision to dissolve. I've worked almost every book sale since joining the Friends, donating my time and energy to the community with pride. These last several months have been arduous. The executive board, which I am a member as vice president, has faced many obstacles. When the Friends voted not to sign an MOU or an MOA, that motion. Why, after all these years, was a MOU mandated? That question was never answered for me. I would also like to say that no member of the executive board contacted either Hearst Media or the River East. That was purely rumor. In regards to the Friends voting to seek legal counsel, I cast a yes vote because I felt we needed unbiased outside advice on how to proceed. After the Friends received the notice from town management to conduct business elsewhere, we contacted our legal counsel for options. After hearing our choices, I voted at a meeting to dissolve. I personally spent many sleepless nights and shed countless tears over the past several months about what has been going on. It is with my deepest sadness that the Friends organization will no longer be an integral part of the Hebron community. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You want that?
Of course not. It's stinks. I have a short comment, and I'm not gonna stay. I'm supposed to be on vacation with my family. It's with Germany, and I'm just down here to.
Would you mind identifying which?
Themselves all the garbage was online, so we made additional. To make the tidy sum, whoever wrote that comment.
I wrote that comment and tell you, if you look it up in the dictionary, it means
I don't
considerable.
even know that it's my turn to talk.
Okay, I'm just
So
wondering.
you're a lawyer, you know what you're saying.
I know exactly what I'm saying,
We
yeah.
always had a tidy sum or a reserve, maybe 30 to 40,000. That's what we did, it was good. We were able to get interest. And it was used for the library, but the tidy sum increased because.
He doesn't come up with the
I raised a tremendous amount of money during COVID. Why? Because those books came to my house, my farm, my garage. Up here, and we couldn't use it. So now, maybe some, we put the person in good. So that kind of a comment is, it just sucker punched us, but it's not good. We worked hard, I worked damn hard. To say, I know my time is up,
Sounds like it's run the clock.
legacy and gonna have not paying the legacy
You know that weird thing that
This is the loss of friends. On this fifth, 2024 at 7:20, the friends died. And that's a terrible.
Yeah, wow.
It's for us.
Might be able
Physically
There
have
you go.
to make things around. It's
Oh,
terrible.
you see me,
And I'm
yeah.
angry, and I try not to say things like, say right now.
She was-
Should not be
she was
happy.
talking
I should not
to
be
the-
crying. I should not be angry. I have volunteered.
I'm sorry, but okay, I'll get that in box.
Students work hard to find things in the what we call a dungeon. And that is first joy.
I need to say,
You're
wow.
crying, being angry. That you never happens.
Isn't it talking?
Anything burn words and we'll do it. And we'll
It's
do it. I
that's
can
at the end of
go.
August. But it gets the last word. It goes,
It's absolutely.
It's a good ad.
Have you told, if I can, Andy, about the bill? Well, send him an email. He does read his email.
Go right to the angry else too. It's a big way to do much better. I am angry at him, but if something is doing good. In his meeting, he says things like, this is my meeting. Or hi, little darling, total disrespect. Yeah, exactly, but you want to be called little darling? This is my meeting. The meeting is hopefully to work together. And whether what happened with Drusilla or Andy or us, a meeting with the three together would have gone a long way. And instead it was, oh, trustees can deal with it. And nothing against you, but had nothing to do with the situation. And we had a right to have a discussion. We were supposed to have a meeting. We had a meeting with Andy. And he said, it's okay, I talked to Drusilla. I'm gonna arrange a meeting for the three parties together, which was great. We never meeting was scheduled.
We actually voted on our representatives who we were going to send.
There's no meeting. And we sent Althea to go to another meeting, and she was dismissed. You don't need to be here. I'm,
Because, you know, we got a schedule of 4 different meetings. And we chose, MA was one of the people we chose to go. And Meg Clifton was also going to go, and I was supposed to go.
okay.
We had chosen 3, but then I heard it was cut back to 2. And so we said we were available on all 4 days.
May I speak as a resident and not as a member?
Your public, yeah.
Do we have anyone else?
I don't believe so on there. Hang on, I'm setting timers. I'm trying to follow the 2-minute.
Just for me, setting a time.
That's true.
No, I have had timers going. All right,
Excuse me, this is Gail. I can hardly hear you folks.
Oh, sorry.
all right.
We'll turn you
We'll
around.
turn
So
you-
whoever's in
Yeah.
charge of your volume, I can hardly hear you.
Okay. Can you,
This is a voice you will hear.
can you hear us?
I need the volume up, Mary Ann, but I will listen to you carefully.
I'm MA Foot. But I know both of you. And I don't know who else is on. But I'm a member of the trustees and I was appointed not through the association, but through the town. And I'm saying that because I'm totally upset about this situation. And I have spoken to people, other people. And they also are
Yeah.
upset. I know people that have been members for over 40 years.
Where is your volume
This-
control?
What is down here? I just had it.
group Was in effect long before the town took over running the library. And I don't know how much money was made then, it doesn't matter. They were supporting the library and they were working for.
I had it all the way turned up, Jack.
She's talking to her husband, so
Oh,
turn the
sorry.
volume off. You're fine.
But, so I'm simply very upset about it. And yes, I wanted to meet with you. Because I felt that we, the trustees,
Oh, no.
with the friends. And it never happened.
I don't have an answer. I don't know.
I'm not asking
that
for
was-
one. I'm making
I
a
mean,
statement.
if I knew,
What if you click below there? You can come up with another bar.
Forget it, Jack.
Okay,
at least from the emails we got from town management, the only way they would be with the Friends is to broker an MOU, not to just discuss. The only thing we asked for an agenda, and the only thing they said is it was all about the MOU.
Being a lawyer, negotiating a document brings out all the issues. You may not end up with a document at the end, but you do discuss it. At least that's why, people do cleanups and things like that, and shake out the problems that are happening.
Yeah, keep in mind if I hit
So,
one of those.
even negotiating that.
Yeah.
One statement.
Please.
I'm Dale Lemon.
Gail, can you?
Gail louder.
What, as I remember the last meeting, I did not get a copy of the minutes, but I brought up the issue of the Friends in our regular meeting. We also discussed setting up a meeting with the Friends and Presbyterian. Right after our meeting, there was a letter sent to the Friends from Andy Tierney, who absolutely said there was no way that the Friends had not agreed to a meeting, and there was no way to have a meeting, and his suggestion was to dissolve the Friends. I was very upset about that letter, and I contacted them because I had received a copy of the letter. I feel that his letter put fuel on the fire, and there was a lot of fire going, and it just exploded. And I'm just very upset about how this whole thing is going on. And I feel that Andy is a big part of it.
There was an offer of a meeting with the selectman, Peter Casper. But, okay, like I said,
It's now, or are we gonna?
no, we're gonna wait
agenda?
till later, but I just wanted to say that, I wanted to ask about Peter Casper, if he has been in contact with him.
Yeah, there's a lot of it is on our email, our Facebook page.
Okay,
You want the meeting?
because I did see emails from him. Okay. Is there anyone else that wants to comment?
Can you check and see if there's anybody in the letter?
Oh, yes, there is. Thank you, Donna. It's hard to see at that angle.
Yeah. Okay, is there anyone else who's online who would like to make a comment? Hearing none, and we're closing out the period of public comment. And moving on to the next level, the reports from the secretary.
That's our minutes,
That's our minutes. To approve the minutes of the 6/10/2024.
which actually should be 7. It was a typo on my part.
Could they be
The July-
included in the packet in the future directly? Because with my situation, I couldn't even download.
I'll try to remember to download them, because that's the only way that I have them is the link. So
Okay,
I read through them. I don't have them with me, but did anyone have any suggestions, comments, corrections, punctuation? No? Okay, could I have a motion to?
so moved.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I already did.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Let's see, I'll second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye, or
Aye.
no, signify by raising your hand since we are here in person. Oh, that's right. Okay, all those opposed, please say nay. And any abstentions, and the motion is carried unanimously, I guess. Okay, now we're into a report on the Friends of the Douglas Library. Is that me? that you?
that would be Pam as liaison, I believe.
Well, I think Pam already.
If he has anything else to, okay.
Okay,
Well, you spoke as a resident, though, not
well, yeah.
covered.
I
I,
was,
I think it would be very uncomfortable for her just because liaison right now after what everything that's happened.
Whatever she chooses, probably.
No, I think it would
I
be,
just don't feel comfortable speaking for an organization that's
Yeah.
in dissension.
and that's what I think is fair to you,
And that's why I spoke.
because that's fair to her.
I think she's older.
Yeah, I was just wondering if she, in addition, something, but
No, she does, I think it's,
nope, you're covered.
yeah, I think it's okay. Okay, so, the liaison was not present tonight. Okay. Or did not,
Here,
did not
here
speak
as a
tonight.
member of the public, there we go.
Liaison did not participate as liaison. Thank you. Okay. Moving on, the town manager representative, that's you, Donna.
Hello, I guess the big news is we have the hybrid meeting room.
We don't know how to use yet.
Installed.
It's here.
They took about.
Wendy,
They were here for, I think, 4 days, and then the other, like, the installers were here for 4 days, and then he was back for about 2 days.
So tomorrow morning, we have training scheduled for library staff and town staff, so hopefully the next time we are here for this meeting.
It'll be up
we will
there.
be,
It, it won't say no signal.
That's what we're
Right,
hoping.
right.
That's the goal.
have a real hybrid meeting, and then, the first formal scheduled meeting for this room will be a big all board meeting that everybody's been invited to September 9th.
Mark your calendar.
Yeah, and just if anyone did not, for whatever reason, get that invitation, let me know and I'll forward it.
So we are, when I email
But I'll
stuff,
send it out, everybody.
Okay.
when I email
forward.
stuff to the library board, I am only using the Hebron CT email addresses, and we really do need to get everybody on the Hebron issued email addresses. We should not be using our personal addresses for town business.
Could I ask a question at this point then? Because we do have some town commissions that don't
Right.
have
Correct.
addresses.
That is correct. So the way the policy is, the requirement is that all elected officials use town issued email addresses. And that appointed boards and commissions can request them and we will issue them. The library board as a whole decided to ask for town issued email addresses, and they have been issued. So if the town has issued an email address, we really should be using them. And a little bit further in my report, you'll understand why. But when you use a personal email address, that makes your email discoverable. So the policy is to protect the individual and the town.
And I will say something, I was having tremendous trouble getting onto the account. And I called Donna and she sent me to Novus and they walked me through it, so now that I can
It's-
use it, yeah.
Yes,
It-
and
it
it
was
is,
very easy.
some people do have trouble, and we recently, we rolled out last year the multi-factor authentication. And that was over a year ago, and we gave instructions for everybody on how to set that up. It was not fully enforced back then, but a few months ago, we did enforce it. So if people had not set it up back then, now they're having issues trying to get in. So it's a matter of having to have the password reset again and installing the multi-factor authentication, the authenticator app on your phone. Novus can walk you through the steps, and you will be online with your email within that phone call. So
I have a question, is there something else that we can use other than in person? You mean in addition to the even CT?
No, for the
for
two-factor
the authentication,
authentication.
correct. There are other ways around it. They can.
Cause I'm not.
You don't need to.
They want my phone number, or else, so. Because I used to use that.
Yeah, so you don't have to get the email, your, like through a phone mail app, you can just sign into the email.
Correct.
But the authenticator app itself does reside on your phone, but there are a couple other ways that they. So I guess I'll just go into the next thing. We're dealing with a very large freedom of information request from the Friends. It is, a huge request. It's a huge undertaking. It involves a couple dozen individuals' email addresses for a huge span of time. So it is, we're working on it. I think you're all aware of it. It includes other people. And this is one of the reasons why it is not a bad idea to use the town email, because we're waiting for a price right now to have our IT company pull down all those emails for us.
Now, what is
But-
this request? I'm unaware of the FOI request.
The Friends submitted an FOI request for any and all correspondence from for the last 18 months having to do with library or Friends of the Library, between the library director, the town manager, the board
Library
of
staff.
trustees,
The library
the
staff.
library staff, the town manager's office staff, and the board of selectmen.
So part of the issue is that like every library staff member, all of their email is related to the library. So
And
it's
it
pulling
covers
all of that.
Town-related email and some personal email addresses.
And of course, also if it's library staff also requires bibliomation to get involved because the
So
staff.
we are
of
working on
bibliomation
it. It is
knows
a
that.
huge request. It takes a lot of time.
Do they cover everything that's sent and everything that's received?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
we,
it's
you know,
thousands and
the
thousands.
Initial request was huge. It is always good to try to narrow the scope, because, for any FOI request, I will always ask the person who submits to narrow the scope. If there's something specific that you're looking for, tell us what that is and we'll give it to you. Instead of creating
it's-
mountains and mountains of paperwork that may not mean.
This request though is just for anything on the subject of Friends.
No,
No.
no,
Oh, it's
it
not.
says,
Everything that-
it specifically says if it
Okay,
mentions,
that's what makes it
Mentions the
enormous.
library.
yeah, if it mentions the library.
Very broad.
So that's every email I send mentions the library because it's kind of
It comes from
in
the
my
library.
signature.
So we are very busy working on it.
May I ask a question?
Well, we're working on getting a price to have Novus do it. I think that price is gonna be prohibitive. So we will need to respond over time, one way or the other. So I know that Yori from our office has
Oh,
sent
Dory.
requests to everybody who's covered by this request to send her what you have that is responsive to the
And
request.
did her note then go to
Wait a minute
even
on that.
Yes.
CT.com?
Yes.
I've tried to connect, but I never
Where
can.
do you get them printed out? You can email them to Dory.
Hey, Peter, if you have any, I was going to talk about how the board of trustees would do this. If anything having to do with the library. First, we have to decide if anyone has anything, and that's something, if you have anything, let me know. But I think I talked to Dory and she said the best way to get it to her would be on a flash drive.
It could be a flash drive.
So she,
Okay,
I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna need some help.
You could put it on a flash drive, or you could simply forward the emails to Dory.
you don't want that.
That's too much.
No,
It's gonna yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to walk me through that.
Okay,
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, and if anyone else has anything, if you want me to coordinate it, or if you want to give your information to me, I will take it down to Dory. But can I ask another stupid question? Are we gonna pay for this as the library?
No.
So the town's gonna pay for it?
No.
Who's gonna pay for it?
We're waiting for the price, but the requester.
The
in most
requester is
cases-
legally
in most
obligated to.
Cases
Yep.
pays for it.
Now,
Oh.
what, you were both speaking then.
The
I'm sorry.
person who makes the FOI request is
responsible.
obligated to cover the cost of meeting that request.
That's 50 cents a page.
Or hourly.
It depends what the format we provided. If we provide it in a flash drive, we had one similar request last year. It wasn't related to the library, but we provided the information on a flash drive. So we scanned everything as a PDF and put it onto a flash drive. And they paid for the flash.
But they didn't pay for the time.
No.
So. You still are having all her library staff.
I understand.
I mean, that's gonna eat into our
I
budget very
understand
badly.
completely. Dory and I have spent weeks on FOI requests, weeks of while we're doing our other work. So, and that's the thing, our other work has to be done. So the FOI request is not, we can't set everything aside and work strictly on the FOI request. We can work on it a little bit at a time. We have responded with what was immediately available that I think you've all seen. We have responded with that information, but now it's a matter of gathering.
When did this FOI request come through? Just generally.
Before
I'll
last.
say week before last, I think.
Before last.
So if I'm in a snide comment, if we've been able to meet directly with the friends, I'll just say that much of my phrase.
Okay, and the friends sounds like are going to, if there's a price, they're going to pay for it. But we're not gonna be able to get back the money that we spend on employees looking for them.
Yeah, no, it's the cost of doing business, I guess.
And what about Kevin?
Oh, yeah, it also, because
Oh,
of the
it's
time frame, it includes
Go back to
Kevin,
Kevin,
That's
it
what I'm saying,
includes
it's not-
Sherry.
Yeah,
It
Sherry,
includes 3
Yeah.
part-timers who are no longer here,
and that's
so,
why,
yeah.
oh, and all the other people that were on the board of trustees.
There is an inactive.
Yeah.
Now, someone like Sherry, and she had a Hebron CT.
But
When
not
she-
for the whole time of the time period.
correct.
But when she retired, was that given up?
No,
Was that,
it's archived.
It's archived.
it is
Yeah,
archived?
we don't.
Okay, that
It's
answers my
archived.
question.
But like,
But you still have to
Emails.
request
Yeah.
from them if they have anything else. Oh my God.
but, and
Okay,
like Sherry,
you're not
we
supposed to be that
transitioned
one
to
and that.
even CT email address until a few months
Sure.
before she retired.
Yeah.
So that also involves the bibliomation staff.
Yes, we are working on that. Other things that, I can report on is we're into the new budget year, working on capital projects and computer replacements, and I think that's about it.
Don't forget to get the emails when you're asking for what the bids. That's part of the information.
Which was,
That, I mean, what about like public works? They have,
what we have, that's,
have library.
that's D seven.
I mean, we're just not gonna go there yet.
Does that mean every
That's not-
business contact from the?
Sure. Well, I don't have it with
The
me.
way it is written,
It's
the way
the-
the request
Okay.
was written, it is every email sent or received by library staff, town hall staff,
Town
town manager's
office.
office, sorry, board of trustees and board of selectmen.
Correct.
During the past 18 months that mentions the word friends or the word library.
How about association?
It doesn't say association, but I
Well,
mean,
that's library.
that's
Yeah.
library, the library association is in there, so yeah. It's a huge, thousands upon thousands of
18
emails.
months.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know,
Well, anyway, if
How
you
about
need-
any new ones? And
So the way we will deal with that request is it will be from the day we receive.
from the date
it
of
back.
receipt. That's how.
that's what I'm asking.
From the
Okay,
date received. back.
nothing looking to the
Right.
future.
unless they expand the request.
It would be easier if it were.
he said-
The other way.
Pat, it'd be a good idea if you didn't mention such a thing.
If I were trying to hurt the town or the library, that's what I would do. I would have one after another.
This is going
after
right into the
another.
minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer, that's what it is, you know, I mean,
I'm just so upset by the whole thing.
yeah. Dear town manager representative, do you have anything else?
I
to
think
do?
yes, enough.
Okay, I really have,
Well, I will say, that I am very sad and disappointed about. I was a friend years ago for support everything, the friends. Any that supports the life. But contributed a lot and very sad that.
okay, chairperson's report, mainly I've been trying to keep you up to date on everything that I received regarding this issue, including email. I did not send you the Facebook link that I received also, from the friends. Priscilla was kind enough to print them out for me, but I don't think I got them all.
No, I don't think they're all in
Yeah, I
there,
don't
but,
think I got them all. And so if you want to read them, then you're at the Friends of the Douglas Library, and they are not particularly flattering. Okay, is there anything else? And like I said, if you want to coordinate through me to get the stuff to Dory, I will be doing a massive flash drive. And I will be happy to your data and stick it on. Okay. I think I got 2 gigs.
A lot of it's gonna be duplicates.
Yes,
yeah,
So
it's gonna be a lot of duplicates.
Priscilla sends an email.
yes,
to 10
Everybody
people,
gets
and
it, yeah.
yeah, everyone. So, I was thinking, you know, if it's from the town, they probably already have it. You know, if you send
Cause it
it,
would have come from,
yeah, if you send it, as I recall from what the statute has been interpreted, you're. You did send something, I believe that the request covers that too. So even though, and if they have duplicates, they have duplicates. So, yeah, there will be a lot of duplication. Well, you know, and the thing is.
But an email that comes out from you is one email CC, so it's only one email. So it wouldn't have to be duplicated, is what I'm
But
saying.
everybody has that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
we've all
it says sent and received.
They're all received.
Yeah.
No, you're screwed.
I may or may not have.
Okay, man, you, good try.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. The sender sent it to everyone.
Okay, I think that's everything I had. And wait till we get to the Friends of the Library update. Library director.
So I think the only thing I have in addition to my report, is under building. I understand from Donna that the town has, selected a vendor to do security upgrades and replace the cameras. I'm not sure from talking to Donna that my understanding is the price we need to cut some cameras, and so we may not have all of the cameras.
Yeah,
That's been a problem. Time, but, I won't have to complete with office.
Oh, wow. I should Google that.
Madam Chair,
And
can we ask the mutes to be muted, please? Because we can't hear what you're talking because someone's talking over you guys.
All right. I think everybody's,
it's with jail.
there's actually 2.
Yeah, we have to leave.
No, but we can mute her.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the, all new security cameras, a new security system, and it's all cloud-based and also keyless entry system. We did all the town buildings, and this is being funded with ARPA funds, some CIP funds, and capital project funds. So we had all of the buildings and locations proposals received from each of them. to make it work, we had to trim the budgets in each location. We went through them with the vendor and we had to make some cuts here and there. And we pretty much made, trimmed in each area so that back corner, which does not now have a camera, we couldn't add a new camera there yet. The system is very easily expandable. There's room for it, so it could be just something that we build into the budget for next year. There's a camera on the other side that they're pretty confident is gonna not cover the whole area, but get a lot of the activity that's.
How about monitors of saying, how many monitors? do we
It's
have?
all cloud-based. We can log into it from any computer.
From any computer.
And from our, from our phone.
Okay.
If you have the appropriate information.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
need
wanna
to
see
log
it,
in,
don't
but
worry.
yeah.
So you agree that the camera, you were consulted from this group, that the camera that was excluded is okay? You don't need it?
I was not, so I met with, the vendor when they first came through, but, after that, I think it was a decision between town hall and the vendor as to which cameras were.
We couldn't have that.
Why couldn't you ask?
We had,
I bet they can't hear.
18 different proposals for 18 different, 2 for each location. That we were sitting in a meeting, Andy, myself, and the finance director with the company, with the vendor, and we were trying to get within the budget. So we went through every single location and we had to do trimming in almost every building.
So everybody had a trim. Decision was made at that meeting.
We had to, Peter, at that point, to make this project work, we had to get within the budget. And it is something that is very easy to add. Later this year, if we need to put it in the capital project request next year, it will be very easy to add. If we have money at the end of the year in ARPA, we have a list of these are the things that go in. But we had to do that. We could not go back to each department and say, okay, we have to trim your budget by $5,000. Where do you want it to be? Just, we could not.
So
The
please,
town manager made the decision and he has the authority to make that decision.
so please, for the next budget year.
Yeah.
Remember to include that center.
Yeah.
Along with somebody else.
Yes,
Right.
the perpetual budget reports.
Thank you.
I heard that the reading program was very successful.
I actually am gonna cover that under new business.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I just want
yeah.
those from in your report.
it is, it's, no, I'm putting under our highlights.
Okay.
I'm very proud, we're very proud of that work. I think the staff deserves to be incredibly proud.
Okay, is there anything else that you want to include in your report?
I don't believe so.
Okay, going on to old business, vacancy on the Board of Trustees.
So unfortunately, Elizabeth was not able to join us tonight, but we do have someone who is very interested. I believe she's approached Donna about joining the association.
So we have the association has a meeting next Thursday. To conduct some of our regular business and to nominate, an association member. For recommendation to be appointed. So that appointment. Would probably happen at the selectmen don't meet now until September 12th. So the appointment would probably happen at that.
Is it possible to get some sort of resume or more information about this person so we know what we can force them to do? What talents they have?
I can ask her if she wants to.
Because I mean,
send,
she's like
a
an
little
IT
introduction.
person, publishing person.
She
Would be nice to know.
Is this Elizabeth, is this the Democratic Board of Registrars? Is this the same person? Oh, okay. I just saw the name on the, as a recipient of the
Oh.
agenda and I had no idea. I didn't know about this.
I mean, it's not a done.
I had a name before the last person was appointed. I had the name of someone else, and I'm sure you all know her mother, who was Megson, and she served as was she association or friends or both or something? What was her name?
Blacksmithson.
That's the name.
Blacksmithson was on the.
Okay,
library board of
one of her
trustees.
daughters who's married to Mark Barabalt, so her name's
Oh.
Barabalt.
Yeah.
But is her first name Ann? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I know.
Well, she had said before the last person was appointed that she would be interested.
So, and it's not a done deal. We don't have, we're not meeting until next Thursday, and people can join the it has to be an association member according to the bylaws. People can join the association. And, no decision has been made.
I mean, does anyone know how people would have joined the association?
I sent them to Donna.
Okay, well, never mind.
And then I
sent Donna.
and I told them. Well, we invite them to attend our association meeting. We only meet twice a year, which is in October and April, unless we need a special meeting to make a nomination. We do occasionally try to recruit with a press release in the paper. Usually it's word of mouth, and we'll refer them to our treasurer to send their $10 check to join, and then they're a member. Pretty easy.
It doesn't cost anything, right?
$10.
$10.
Oh, my God.
$10 annual dues.
And that goes to June.
Juliana is our treasurer.
Any more comments or recommendations for the vacancy on the Board of Trustees? Okay, the next thing is the Friends of the Library update. I'm sure we all have information to put in, but if you heard Donna talk about the Freedom of Information request. One of the things I am very, very concerned about is the money that the Friends have that I think should go to the benefit of the library. I bought a lot of books. I've donated a lot of books. I bought little bookmarks. And I would like that money. I understood that money was going to go for the benefit of the Hebron Library, Douglas Library. And I would like to make an inquiry. I understand the Friends are going to give it to someone else. And they're going to decide among themselves who to give it to. And I would like to have that money go to a library. Does anyone else have any thoughts or comments on that?
Well, I attended the last meeting of the Friends, and I did say that those funds can go to the association.
Ah. Is that possible?
The association is a 501.
It's a 501c3.
Because I mean,
And
I
some-
heard they were gonna vote
Well,
on who they're
some-
gonna give it to.
Some were under the impression that any monies that went to the association got funneled directly to the town. That is not true.
The monies that get funneled to the town
Dividends.
are the dividends from the trust. That is by a decree.
And that will not affect the trust.
No.
So any new funding,
yeah.
not Dr. Douglas, but new funding such as any new donations would go directly into the association.
Yeah, and then be used for the library.
And, but
They
then
could stipulate that it be used for the library. too.
Yeah.
Well, we don't, the association,
That's all.
our sole purpose is to support the library.
the association that ran was in charge of the
I
library.
heard that it's.
Well, I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, and the thing is, that would be a really good thing. Because I wanted to ask if we could vote to ask the Friends or talk to the Friends or somehow write a letter to the Friends stating that we want the money to go to the library.
If you raise the money under the premise that the funds are gonna be used to support the Douglas Library. Don't you have to, by default, once you raise that money, doesn't it have to go to the Douglas Library?
I can't hear you.
You asked a question, I think what the question is, if money is raised for a purpose,
Yeah, under the auspices.
as a, and it's that you are solicited.
Yeah.
To give for a cause, whether it had, that money has to go to the purpose for which it was solicited, am I correct?
Yeah, that's, yes.
And
One would assume so, wouldn't one?
one,
Now, when
so
the book sales were publicized, did they ever say specifying that the money, the funding would go towards Douglas Library programs or museum passes or any of the many things that were done?
their website, the Friends, their Facebook page says that that's what the money's gonna go for. And every time I gave my money and bought those books or gave tons of books, to, drop it off in the bin, it was my understanding
That
that
was the
money,
understanding, but did you have anything in
Yes.
writing? That says, the Friends.
I
page
will find,
says that.
I will find the references for the book sales. But that money was solicited, the donors donated for the purpose of the library.
So in other words, if I had gotten bargain books at the book sales for a dime for a little paperback, I can assume that that dime would go to library programs.
Well, you're the donor in that case, so you would have to say what your intent was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any finances, let's.
No.
No.
No,
I'm not.
no, listen, you're talking about federal law, you're talking about 501c3. There were two statutes that apply to charitable institutions in the state of Connecticut. And one of them is called the Prudent Management of Charitable Financial Institutions. It's a mouthful. And that says if you solicit money, and I'm not a lawyer on that respect, but I read it as if you solicit money for a purpose, it has to go for that purpose.
501c3, like us, we collect adults, and okay. Something like the Lions, they collected money. I'm not trying to direct you. I'm giving you money for this book. The intent is it's going to stay here. Legally, you're a lawyer. It didn't say that. We are not in the position of, when this happened 20 years ago, and we had to become a 501c3, they created that back then, not us. This is not decisions the current Friends can make. We have no right. We're a friend. And when we dissolve, we have to follow the bylaws and we have to follow what the IRS says. We are not in control of that.
I think that you need to talk to an attorney
We do.
about,
With charity.
and I know who you talked to, I went to law school with Barbara McGrath.
It was.
But I'm telling you, I'm going to, I think the only way we're ever gonna get this clear is if we request an opinion from the Attorney General about what the statute says.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
we can do it jointly if you like.
either way, it's just that that's what we do. We're not, it's not the group that's here now, it's the group 20 years ago that set us up for this situation should have come up again. 20 years ago, the town said, put the money in the general fund, and they said, no, they became a 501c3, updated the bylaws, and that was the end of it. Here we are 20 years later, and we're stuck with what was set up 20 years ago. It has nothing to do with what any of us did. When we decide to dissolve, and we're just done with it, we have to do what we have to do. It's not a decision Ellen gets to make, Pam gets to make. It's.
I'm requesting that the Friends give the money to the library through the association. Because I know that when I gave my money, I wanted it to go to the library.
Can we do that in this group?
What? Ask them? We can
Well,
write a
you're-
letter to them.
You're sounding as if you want to make a motion that.
I want to make
this
a
will-
motion to write a letter to the Friends stating that we want the money to go to the benefit of the library. And that's, and if anybody wants to make that motion, fine.
It's very vague. To the library association, we can't give money to the library because we're in dissolution. We cannot, we can pay things that were already authorized. But we cannot give any more money because we're in dissolution.
Your dissolution is not effective until October 31.
Yes, that is true.
So you're in dissolution and you filed with the state.
We're going to.
Okay,
It's
and I will ask the state if we can get that money too. I'm trying to ask you to give it to the benefit of the library before we get into any problems with it. That's all.
I'd like to make, a thought on the table.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, Gail. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. When you run and recognize me, please let me know.
Okay, I recognize Gail because I cut her off. I'm so sorry.
I'll just briefly state that my reason for getting involved in the Friends many years ago, and spite of my other duties, donating to it, working it, my husband working, setting up, it was with the thought that the money was going benefit the public library in town. That is the Douglas Library of Hebron. When it comes to the money that is there, it was raised with that thought by all the attendees at book sales, everything. The money, everyone thought the money was going for the benefit of the Douglas Library. So the association holds money for the Douglas Library that has been donated to the association or left in a will to the association. The town cannot put in any grabs on that money. The town has no say in how that money is used. It is strictly for the members of the association to vote on. Therefore, with that brief background, I add to Pat's motion that the money that the Friends are holding at this time be transferred to the association. Anyone can join the association that they want to, and any expenditures are always voted on. That big TV down there, that was voted on by the association after some investigation of what would be appropriate for the library. So I think the money going to the association, the town
So
has no
if I
control
could
over it,
just-
would be a good move.
So if I
And
can
now-
just clarify, Gail, you're making a motion that the board request that the Friends transfer that money to the association, is that correct?
Yeah, who is speaking?
This is Drusilla, sorry.
Oh, okay. I usually recognize you, Drusilla. Yes, Pat was making a motion like that. I think I kind of changed it, but yes, and it seems to answer everybody's problems. The town or the library, as a person, fictitious person, wouldn't have control over it. It would be the members present at that association meeting would vote on any expenditure. So in other words, that large sum of money could be sitting there for a long time, and it might go to something that the library is requesting outside of their budget that maybe totals $5,000, maybe $10,000, and that request would be put in. The association would research the items that they may, or computer system or something that they want to purchase, and then that would go before the whole kit and caboodle of everybody in the association, and a vote would be made, and the expenditure would be thus determined.
Gail, it's Peter.
Peter has a question for you, Gail.
Gail, should we amend that suggested motion to include a date Because what I would not like to see happen is if we do not include a date, an as of date, then we get down to the October deadline or whatever the deadline ends up being for the dissolution of the Friends, and then all of a sudden be no money in the pot.
So my motion would be amended to say that the money would be transferred by such and such a date?
By October 31st.
Well,
or
I think if
by-
you make-
No, if the date is October 31st,
it should
then
be-
we would,
Yeah.
could we say October 15th then?
And
Okay,
Gail, I'm going to ask to amend your motion again.
Yeah,
Okay, I would like to have it say that that the money from the Friends goes to the benefit of the Hebron Library. And that we recommend that it goes to the association.
yeah, I think your phrases might need to be flip-flopped there.
that works.
It goes to the Association of the Douglas Library of Hebron
For the benefit.
and for the benefit
And
of the
and
Douglas Library of
What
Hebron.
I'm thinking, if the Friends may have a different way of giving the money to the benefit of the library besides giving it to the association. I think, and that's why I wanted to expand it, that they will give it to the benefit of the library, and we're suggesting that the proper way to do it would be the association.
Now, I would like to say something, and the word
Okay, here she goes.
suggest is the main word. I don't think we can put in anything that really orders
No,
anyone to
we
do
don't,
anything.
no.
We asked,
But that
we're
word-
asking,
No, it hasn't sounded that way. It
I
sounded
think the
pretty
word was suggest,
Direct it.
Mary Ann.
I mean,
It was-
Gail's
Yeah, I think the beginning of the motion said suggest.
Yeah.
Because I'm a member of the Friends, but I can't say order. Sue's a member of the Friends. We have to say we suggest, because if they are, and this is all based on the fact that they voted for dissolution. I'm
I-
sorry, I wasn't in attendance at their meetings,
okay.
but in the last couple of months, I've been in the hospital
I
twice.
think we should.
And the
request-
last time was a week ago. It was 2 weeks ago, and I was in for a week, so I haven't been at their meetings.
Well, I think we should I think a lot of the people in the different groups are unaware of these three subgroups. And I think therefore we should first inform people of the Friends, the association, and the trustees, so that everyone knows what's going on, who does what. And then it will be understood why we would be suggesting that the money go to that group.
Well, the trustees are not a 501c3. We're a department of the town of Hebron.
All the
So,
more reason why I'm saying people need to understand everything, because the town group is a big part of why we ended up with a problem.
okay,
So that's why I'm saying, let's inform everyone, educate everyone first,
so
and then request.
how about, let me amend. How about we include that information with our request?
We could put a blurb, we've written one up before a couple of years ago, of what each group does. And,
We did a flyer last.
Yeah, there's a flyer
There's a flyer?
upstairs.
right, that's the one we made up a couple of years ago.
Right, oh, yeah.
And that blurb is on there.
Does that describe the history of how the association used to have the library?
Yeah, I
and-
think it does.
Okay,
Mentions that.
okay.
I haven't
How's
looked at
that,
it in a
Emma?
while, but I think that's in there.
Well, it's good and it's not enough. I mean, people all around, people who utilize this library don't have any understanding of how it's operating, how it has operated.
Well, we're making our appeal to the Friends. So we want to give the Friends that information first. And then maybe we should have some
We
sort
do-
of education.
Well, we do include that in every new patron, everybody who registers for a library card gets a folder, but among other things has that trifold in it that talks about the association.
They
Yes,
do?
it's one of the things that goes.
Yeah, I don't think I got one, but
Well, we gotta get one to you.
I never knew the board of trustees existed, and I never knew the association existed.
Right.
Right.
That's why we're gonna send this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Words like suggested is good, appeal is good. When we get a demand from him in the office, it's ridiculous. You can't even fathom how to answer it without getting upset. But if we try and work together, that's a different story.
Mm.
I can't tell you what the Friends will do, but I think if it's explained properly to the entire executive board, it might stand a chance. We don't know how this works. How, you know, there is no way. We are
Am I-
in a dungeon, literally.
am I correct that, Gail, that the association is a 501c3?
Yes, they are.
Yes, it sure is. I can tell you that. I filled out the paperwork
I have the.
when it had to be renewed.
Okay, so all right, so.
That was part of my reason I requested.
Okay, so I
Uh,
believe that the motion is that the Board of Trustees write a letter to the Friends suggesting that the funds that the Friends have be transferred to the Library Association for the benefit of the Douglas Library of Hebron.
And with
Does
that,
that
Drusilla?
sound right?
With an understanding.
Drusilla, that we need to add in there that the association is a 501c3.
Okay, yeah,
okay,
So we're transferring money from one 501c3
to
to
another.
another
But it
501c3.
also has to include the information that the
Yeah, we'll
association,
make sure that that's in there, that
Okay,
the association.
all right, and
I don't like being cut off.
Sorry, Emma.
I'm going to suggest an amendment, which I suggested before for you, MA, that letter include the information that MA requested. And I think I made that amendment. Remember when I said I'm going to amend your amendment? And so that's included. So Drusilla, you want to read that back?
Oh God, I haven't written it down, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. Okay, so the Board of Trustees, the motion is that the Board of Trustees write a letter to the Friends respectfully requesting that the Friends transfer their money to the Library Association, which is a 501c3, to be used for the benefit of the library, and that letter include information on the association's role
And
in the
then
library
Peter added, we'd like to hear from them by a specific,
by October 15th.
no later than.
Was
Yes.
that?
That was not hearing from them, that was getting the money.
Yes, that's.
Oh, that's getting the
Okay.
money. So okay, no, oh God.
But I think the big point here to make this work is that the Friends understand that the association is separate from the town of Hebron's Douglas Library of Hebron.
I'm gonna join the association.
You're not gonna use my $10.
I'll get my own.
Okay,
Now, I have a question. The Friends have agreed to support this program that were in the 24 budget. I believe, right?
So the Friends,
And so there's some, there are issues, like they rent the American Legion for the book discussion. I mean, that's just one small thing. I mean,
When they give the money to the Friends, they're gonna be giving it a donation, right? To the Friends, I mean, to the association. The Friends will be giving it to the association. They can put in no, I'm saying they can put in their donation the conditions for which it can be used. That, for example, it does not go to the town. It does not go to the town.
well, it wouldn't anyway.
Well, no, I mean, they could throw the money at the town to put in the budget. We don't want it that way.
Concern, address the concern.
Yeah, because that way they could say, we wanted to go to the library for children's programs. We wanted to go to the library for large print books, and not to go to the town or be put into the town budget or included in the library budget.
right, not in the library budget.
Yeah. So you can put that stipulation
Well,
in there.
that softens it, I mean, that makes it.
Yeah,
Right,
and I don't want it to go to the town coffers.
We
because
don't
I
either.
Off your couch trips, it should be something.
Yeah.
That was a request. You want it to go to something that makes sense.
So are you a member of the association?
No.
The
The-
library
library
association,
association.
Douglas Library.
Then
Association.
you guys gotta get in there and tell them, vote in there, get in there and start voting. on
And what'd you say, 2 meetings a year?
Okay,
All right, can we,
now, all right. now,
before we
so
get
they
too
want the money
complicated-
By October 15th, when do we want to hear from them?
or when should the association hear from it?
1st of October.
I think we should do a little sooner, because
Prior
it takes a
to
while for them to
September
write checks and have meetings and vote things.
So
Well,
that would,
I don't
the
think we can
September
be
meeting would
pushy.
be
Well,
the,
no, I'm thinking about the lead time for them to do their process.
Develop, I mean.
So-
it's not like-
They have an attorney that they have expenses coming up, so.
They're not even filed the state yet.
Yeah, and I'm worried about, I don't want them to have to hire an attorney to eat up the money that could be used for the library.
We already have. No choice we have.
You already paid an attorney,
Yes.
and did you use the library funds?
Not mine.
Well, of course they did, because theirs are their only funds.
I mean, I've said.
Well, no, they pay dues, they pay dues.
Yeah, but they go into their friends' funds.
Yeah,
It's all mixed.
can we act on this motion before we
Okay.
lose track of this?
okay, all right, is
So
anybody
there's-
wanna,
May
Gail
I
made the motion.
interject? Someone said something about that you pay dues to belong to the Friends. That's not true. Hasn't been true for years.
What did she say?
They do, there are no dues to
There's no
belong
dues,
to
okay.
Friends.
No, I thought there were.
No, it's.
No, there
Those-
hasn't been.
Has the dues.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so Gail
Okay.
made.
And
Gail made the motion. Can I second, or do I have to ask for a second?
Not if you were adding to the motion, you can't second it.
I can, if she makes, yes, I can.
Yeah, she made. the
I made a motion for an amendment. She accepts that.
Oh, then we have to vote on each separate portion.
what?
No, we can
This-
vote on it as amended,
Yeah, I think you can vote on it as amended.
as
As
amended.
long as the first
Yes.
people withdraw.
Gail, withdraw your motion and restate it, please.
You want me to remember it?
No,
I got some of it, Gail.
Okay, hang on, let me see if I can do this and you tell me if this is your motion.
If that's what I amended,
Yes,
okay,
please.
go ahead.
All right, so my understanding is that your motion is that the Board of Trustees write a letter to the Friends of the Douglas Library respectfully requesting that they transfer their funds to the Douglas Library Association, which is a 501c3, to be used for the benefit of the Douglas Library. And that letter should also include information on what the association does and what its role is.
and.
Yes, I think a blurb for that should go in there.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's voting on this. The association has always existed since Dr. Douglas died in 1946. The association is what owned the land and the building. So that was transferred. That was transferred to the town when the town took over ownership of the library.
But the
Because there
association,
was not enough money left to finance it.
the association itself remains a 501c3, so.
It's always, yes, it always has
So-
been that. And I filled out the later papers, so
So
I,
is that,
Is
is
that
that,
your motion?
oh, do we want to put in, somebody was concerned about what the funds, if they were transferred to the association, would be used for, and I think we can state
I
that
think I mean, because the Friends can put that limitation on anything that
they can put on, yes, they can put they don't want it to be used for the they don't want to be used for something with the building. They want it to be used, and what I wanted to see this money used for is programming material that would benefit the library user, the library patron.
Do you want it
Okay.
used for items such as it has been used for through the years?
Well, that's up to the friends.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
up
I
to the
know, and
friends.
that's why I'm acknowledging.
Yeah. So I-
Yeah, it's funny, when we all worked for the,
That sounds like we're.
when we all worked for the book sales,
I think it's.
we were using, we wanted to have money to go for the library, for the patrons.
Okay, so was that
Oh.
close enough to your motion, Gail?
Yes, I
Okay,
go with.
all right.
I believe so,
Can we-
Drusilla.
I'm sorry, Pat. I was just about to ask if we can have a second. That's your job.
Please, I'm right now, my head is spinning. Can we have a second for that?
Second.
But I want to hear the actual motion that we're voting on.
Oh God, you want me to
There's
say it
something-
again?
I want it written is what I want.
So it will be written by the
Well,
secretary.
it's not required.
Yeah, no, it's our board clerk is here taking notes, so she's, yeah. And
All right,
it's
I
on
mean,
recording, it's on the recording, yeah.
Okay, because otherwise, we don't do written motions. But you can raise a point of order and request that it be a written motion, which I will not.
Hang on, let me see if I can write
Strange
this
way of
down.
running a meeting.
I think Catherine has taken it. Why would we need,
I follow Robert's rules, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I run meetings and we always have written motions.
Board of Trustees.
We have, I don't think we've ever had a written
I don't
motion.
think we have either.
No, we
but-
haven't.
no,
No,
Request.
not like this whole.
They don't come out in the minutes like.
Yes,
Oh, they're in the minutes, but that's after they've been
Well,
acted on.
that's all I'm.
Yeah, no, that's why our board clerk is here.
I
We're-
just wanna,
Yeah,
every time you've repeated it, it's been slightly.
No, so we're-
respectfully
We have a
changed.
final version
voting on the last motion that I repeated
that
yes.
Gail just withdrew her motion
and.
and made,
Yes.
and Dale seconded. Okay. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it read back, because I've got part of it written down.
Hang on, I'm writing.
Exactly.
Okay, we're having discussion now.
I'm through 501c3 used for the benefit of the
Douglas
Douglas
Library. Yep,
As far as I got.
that's.
But
yeah.
you have the first part.
The Board of
Through the-
Trustees will write a letter to respectfully request that the Friends of the Library transfer their funds to the Douglas Library Association, which is a 501c3, to be used for the benefit of the Douglas Library.
The request the friends of the Douglas Library.
Friends of Douglas Library.
Douglas Library.
Oh, well, yeah, Friends of the Douglas Library,
Okay.
Friends of the, yeah,
The is not in.
And then are we writing a letter? Does it say to whom? It's
to the
understood.
Friends,
Does it say that?
yes.
Okay.
It says to the, yeah.
Douglas Library of Hebron Association.
Oh, good lord,
That's
okay,
got the
hang
whole
on.
name in?
Is that the whole name?
Oh, I didn't know it had the of Hebron.
Yes, it does. Okay. Alrighty,
And there's no reference to a date, either when we would like a decision or a discussion.
Well, I think part of that though is gonna come down to their dissolution process.
Point
I
of
don't know what the
order,
timeline
he
is for that.
can move to amend the motion during discussion.
And I'm kind of just throwing a question out there to see what my colleagues think. Do we need a date in there?
I don't think so. I think we need the Friends haven't dissolved, I mean, haven't completely dissolved. They have, and they have expenses at this point, so I don't think that we should be saying by a certain date, because I don't think they have a date.
I'm concerned that friends are using library money for their own dissolution.
Right.
But that's-
Is that what your
And
question is?
Yeah, I
Thought
heard
so.
about that. And it's got nothing to do with you ladies, please.
I can, yeah, okay. So, you think that having a date will resolve that issue?
I believe it's an attempt to resolve the issue. If nothing else, it puts it on the table for discussion point. When one side sits on the table,
Can
and the other side sits.
can I suggest that they get back to us before our next meeting?
That's fine. That's fine. At least then we'll have some more.
That's probably a good way of saying it.
We'll have a feel for what's going on.
So
We
would you,
certainly know what we're discussing.
so you would like to amend the motion to include that they respond to us by our next
We
meeting?
request,
Prior to-
respectfully request that we get a response in writing by our next meeting at September XYZ.
Do I have a second for the amendment to the motion?
I can do that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Abstentions.
Hang on, I'm writing.
The motion has been amended to include that they get back to, the Friends get back to the Board of Trustees by our next meeting.
Which is September something or another.
September
Let's not
9th,
get complicated.
but yes.
What is that date? I want to get a
September
timeline.
9th.
September 9th.
Okay,
Okay. All right. Now,
that means.
now we need to vote on the motion as amended.
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? Please no. Okay. All those in favor, raise your hands. All those opposed? Abstentions? It is passed. The motion is passed unanimously.
Ooh,
Say who's gonna write the letter, but that's.
Well, but I wanted to make sure I had the wording for the motion correct.
You know,
So that's
we'll-
what
we'll
I've been
do it like
writing
we
down.
always do it,
Yeah.
you know. Okay. Now. That's. Okay, back to the Friends of the Library update. Okay. Do we want? At this point, or do we want to wait till September? To request an opinion from the Attorney General, Mr. Tong. On whether. On how funds have to be distributed. When there's a solicitation for funds and people give with that intent. Do you want to put that off until our next meeting under old business?
Would that request go through the town attorney?
No,
Can that be done privately without putting it through this group? And then just having that,
I
a
don't,
report
I could try.
of sorts provided?
Have a report on it.
But I don't really want to vote on that.
No, I just say, I want to know if we want to table it.
Yes.
We want to table a discussion of that until our next meeting.
Yeah, I would.
And if anybody feels the urge to make a request as a private citizen, they can. Correct? Right, Emma, you're gonna write the letter?
No,
Okay.
All right. I'll
I'll
put that
edit it,
under,
I'll proofread it.
I'll put that under
Okay.
old business.
Okay, were there any other issues that about the Friends that we want to discuss? That was my main concern, was that the money go for the benefit of the library.
So we didn't have any motion about contacting the attorney.
We're gonna table that
We're
until the
tabling till
next,
September.
yeah.
Because that way, that'll give them a chance to respond, and why make the request if it's done?
Well,
Yeah, does that sound good?
And
okay,
if you make a request like that and that gets out, that just creates more defense. And that's what we're trying not to do.
That's why we're gonna table it till September.
To talk about this is a lovely idea. I don't know if it'll work. I can't speak for the executive board. But in turn, we've gone through this and what do we get in return? We get good. So there's a lot to think about. And whatever apology needs to come from somewhere. It's a lot of people are upset. Yes, it's the right thing to do perhaps, but there's a lot of thought that needs to go into it.
I would like to say that the trustees have really not been too overly involved in this whole mess. And that we simply support all the work that the Friends have done.
You wanna, is that a motion?
No, it's a statement.
Oh. All right, when we,
Because I think it needs to be softened. I just don't like what went on. And I offered to be a part of a meeting.
So now feel correct and no one's been held accountable and it's sad.
I'm just.
we
I'm
all
just saying
have the
that this
same,
group-
and we all have the same interest. We want the library to be the best library it can possibly be.
And, you know, I don't know if I say something.
That's fair.
I don't have to do it, I just can't.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no, she doesn't want, don't push her, Emma, come on.
Don't push me either.
Oh, here we go. No, I don't want her to feel that she has to come up here. and
She doesn't have to.
be
I'm
part of it.
offering.
She's happy where she is. So,
I just,
and besides, this is. Okay, was there anything else we wanted to talk about with the Friends of the Library? Okay. Can we move on to new business? Before my head spins off my shoulder. Okay. This is Drusilla's show.
Yeah, I thought I would share. I've been crunching numbers for the state and federal report. So I thought I'd share some highlights from fiscal year 24, which ended on June 30th, and also from summer reading. So our total circulation for fiscal year 24 was 79,234 print, ebooks, and audiobooks, plus 2,686 movies streamed through Hoopla and Canopy. So a grand total of 81,920 items circulating in last year. We had 49,425.5 visitors. I'm not sure where the 0.5 came from, but that's what they counted. 49,425.5 visitors
That's
in
a
the
record.
course of a year.
And Peter, how did they count?
Anybody who comes through the door, there's a,
So the definition is you come through the door.
who come through the door for some purpose to use the
So if
library.
you added video, video.
Our web counts, yep, it would be higher. Yeah.
These are very important statistics for your report, the night of the 19th, at the all boards meeting.
Yes.
And the next thing we're gonna have to do is compare them to last year,
Yes,
show the percentage increase.
Have you
Yep.
compared them to last year?
I have not pulled last year's numbers. I do have access to those, but I haven't pulled them yet. So continuing, we answered 6,285 reference questions. A new statistic that the state had asked us to gather for the past year was how many sessions we had of one-on-one technology help. So that's a number that I don't know how many we did before, but this is when somebody comes in and says, how do I don't know, we've had people come in needing forms from the DMV. We've had people who want to know how to use a Kindle, that kind of thing. And that was 366 individual one-on-one tech sessions. We held 346 programs attended by 4,863 people ranging from birth to adults.
And were some of those programs funded by the Friends?
Yes, so that includes the programs funded by the Friends.
Good.
And this is my favorite number, in July, at the end of July 2023, we had a grand total of 45 people of all ages registered for summer reading. As of Friday, which was the end of summer reading for this year, we had 803.
Was that 45 just children?
No, it was everybody.
I think.
That is an enormous, we knew, we felt like we'd been busy, but that was a huge thing.
Did the ice cream help?
I actually have not gotten the final numbers for ice cream. By the time I left, there had been 75 people eating ice cream, but I don't know how many we finished with.
I think the prizes were very.
Yes, and definitely a shout out to Lita and to some of our other staff who pulled those prizes and got donations. But
Certainly I didn't win anything, because I didn't get the ball.
sorry.
I'll buy you an ice cream.
Speaking of staff, you have a person, number of people on staff at the end of July 24 versus 23.
So the end of last year, we were down 3 people. We were down 3 part-timers, and we are now fully staffed. We have been for 5 months, 6 months, something like
So the change in employment is a person.
well, it's 3 part-timers, but yes, it works out to about a person. and a half.
That's that one that.
Yeah, that
There's
explains
that half.
through the door.
That's that half person.
That.
I figure it's, so the way that our door counter works is you take the number that it shows and you divide it in half, because it counts as you go out in and then you go out. So I figure somebody came in and never left. That's
Oh,
how.
God. We'll find them by the smell.
Yeah. So
Is the counter on only that door?
yes.
That
our
also
only-
says something.
So a couple of other highlights from the past year. Obviously, we had the inauguration of Hebron's first poet laureate, which is excellent. And we have expanded our library of things. So we now have musical instruments, lawn games, craft equipment. We now have a nail lamp that, to do your gel nails.
No.
We have a record player. So most of these things were donated. We had a retiring teacher from Gilead Hill donated a record player. We have a cassette player that was donated, or a boombox that was donated by someone. So if you want to play your old cassette tapes,
You're
you
gonna
can
need
do
a
that.
collection policy.
So we actually have seen huge jumps in the number of things, realia that have circulated, which is
And
great.
they are circulating.
Oh, yeah, they very much are circulating. Somebody just walked out with the drum the other day, and it's really fun when they go past my office with a drum tucked under their arm.
The other thing I might want to practice, superintendent of schools will be here, is, so you might want to open that door again about the contacts that Lita made
Yeah,
at the grade schools.
yeah. So Lita has been keeping in very close touch with like the school media specialists and such at
Okay.
the schools.
Which is, that's new.
Yeah, so she actually saw, I believe every fifth grader in Hebron she presented to at the end of the school year about some reading about what the library can do.
And I heard-
I know she saw something like 200 fifth graders, so there was an awful lot of them. But yeah, so she, since she has experience as a classroom teacher, as I say, she speaks school, which is really great. So she has made those contacts and is keeping up with those contacts, which is really great.
And I have gotten feedback from the teachers in the school system about the presentations, which I passed on.
They were very positive.
And they were positive. Oh, yeah, they were all positive.
She is dynamic.
She really is, yeah.
She really
she's
is.
great.
I love it when she comes in costume.
So you never know what she's gonna be wearing. And then just personally, so I was elected to the Bibliomation Board of Directors, which gives us a direct pipeline to Bibliomation, when they're formulating policies and making updates to software and so on. I'm now one of the 8 that sits on that board. I was also named as the co-chair of the Connecticut Library Consortium's Eastern Connecticut Directors Roundtable. So that's a forum for all of the directors east of the river to get together. So I'm one of the conveners of that. And then just to keep you all updated, in the past week, I was asked if I would assist. So some of you may know that Connecticut Library Consortium negotiates discounts with vendors for libraries in the state. And I was asked to sit on a panel that is reviewing the bids for print materials for the coming year. So I will be spending some time doing that. And very randomly, I was recruited as a grant review panelist for the National Endowment for the Humanities. Not
Good.
entirely sure how that happened. But asked if I would.
That's national.
That's national. Yes, they have a preservation grant for preservation of like historic materials or arts materials, and that's
Yeah.
what they asked about.
How do we publicize this so that the patrons know that all this is going on?
So I am planning to send a press release after the paper with some of the news about summer reading and so on. So
So what about all these appointments? Because, you have contacts.
or I will.
Yeah.
The only contact I currently have at the National Endowment for the Humanities, the person who recruited me.
Congratulations. And we came in very well with the budget too, didn't we?
Mhm.
I was upset that we returned the money back.
We actually did not return that much, as it turns out. I had forgotten to include the locksmith down here, so
But we still came in under.
yeah, we came in under, which is what you want to do.
And how that works, they don't give her the money in the first place.
So
You can't give
I
it back.
can't really give it back.
Because you were gonna ask the town for, the 3D printer and that's free, so why that money?
Well, because it's allocated for certain items. We don't have a line item that would cover purchasing a new 3D printer. That was the ARPA. So that's why that's an ARPA request. Those are things like telephone and, forms and supplies so everything's broken down.
And one thing, would you mind explaining what bibliomation is?
So Bibliomation is our library consortium. It is the largest consortium in Connecticut. I believe we're up to 160 member libraries now. It does include public libraries. There are a few school libraries, and a couple of so-called special libraries. So for example, there's a church in West Hartford that has a large library that belongs. So it provides the software that we all use to run everything we do. It's called an ILS, an integrated library system. But that's the software that lets us check items out. It lets us catalog things. It's how we register people for library cards. They also provide some access to like our Overdrive collection, our ebooks through Libby is actually through the consortium because we have much more purchasing power when all 160 libraries get together and purchase than we would individually. So they do that. They provide some training. They provide email hosting. So for our part-time staff, the douglaslibrary.org email addresses that our part-time staff use, those are provided through Bibliomation.
What does it cost?
I believe altogether it costs us, I'd have to go back and do the math because we pay for things in pieces. But it probably costs us $5,000 to $6,000 a year. But then we also purchase, so for example, our software that allows us Event Keeper, which allows us to monitor our meeting room use and keep our calendar. We purchase through them because again, we get a discount because there's so many people buying together. So they provide a discount. Yeah.
Are the museum passes part of that on that?
So they are on Keeper, which is a module of, yes, but the related software. So yes, again, we purchase through them, which gives us a significant discount. But
Okay.
so they provide a number of services like that.
Okay.
So they're a co-op.
Basically, yeah, they're a consortium. And just for anyone interested in the history of libraries in Connecticut, there used to be, so you know, the Connecticut Library Consortium,
Yeah.
which provides a lot of training for libraries and also provides negotiates discounts with vendors for all libraries in Connecticut. Originally, there were actually 4 library consortia in Connecticut. It was North, South, East, and West. And at some point, they all formed CLC. And so Bibliomation, Library Connection, and Lion Inc. sort of were formed to fill the void of the consortium that had merged to form Connecticut Library Consortium.
Thank you.
So it can be kind of fun to figure out who does what, but
Now you're on the board.
now I'm on the board at Bibliomation, yes.
Wow. Okay, let's see. New business highlights from fiscal year. Other business?
Brief, comment on safety.
Is this for the strategic planning committee or?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have now
Yes.
moved on to.
Now we have moved.
Okay.
So anyway, a grandmother in town asked that we consider putting a additional handrail under the currently installed handrail as you walk up the stairs into the children's library. The reason she wanted that was she uses our library, children's library extensively with kids, ages 4 and 2. And she makes the kids carry their books. So it was difficult for the little ones to reach up to the current rail. So I got a hold of Priscilla and asked her about it. She said she'd run with it, and I know she's running with it.
It's on my list.
Take care of it. But I thought it was important that we were getting community feedback.
Yes.
In a positive way to use the children's library. So Priscilla's taking care of it. I thank you for jumping on that quick. That's it. You want somebody else?
Okay, anyone else?
The fire marshal?
Yeah, he's on my list to talk to, yeah.
Okay.
There
I
are.
just wanna make sure.
Yeah,
I understand.
no, Chris is on my list to email about that,
Okay.
yeah.
You're
I have,
absolutely right.
I have on my list, I have some brainstorms of who I need to talk to, and he's on there,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, any more strategic plan committee?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for saving the best for last.
Always, Peter, always. Okay, the best for, the actual best is adjourned.
I'm so moved.
A second? Oh, come on.
All right. So you reminded me. when
All
you
those in
talked
favor, aye?
about
Opposed?
Aye.
Yay, thank you, Gail.
Friday.
All right, good night, everyone.